All right, welcome to another video. This is Jack McCaig, and in this one, I'm going to do little sales here for Liberty Aid and the work that I do, and for God, because the United States, right? The In God We Trust slash, meaning doing business as the United States, USA Inc. We, of course, that's the name of the devil, and I'm going to prove that to you. So basically, every American is guaranteed to go to hell for eternity. And I'm the only one that offers a solution to that. No one else does it. And that's a fact, and I'm going to prove it to you right now. So, every organization on earth is satanic, except for the Bulletproof Trust, available on libertyaid.org and jackmccaig.com. Okay, every single organization organized on earth, every legal organization, is a satanic organization, because the In God We Trust, we, the name of the God we, if you spin that W to the left and you had a capital E, right? And you spun it if you, I have a pointer. If you took this W and moved it, a quarter turn to the left, it would be a 3. And if this were a capital 3, it would be facing the other way. We can just mirror image it, would be a 33. So we're going to get into that, the In God We Trust. And, I mean, seriously, you're going to get something on Amazon now, right? You can go shopping for something or whatever. But this sales pitch, I'm going to remind you at the end of this sales pitch here, right? It's the only option available to Americans. There is no other option. It's the only option to not go to hell for eternity. Because every organization is, other organization, right? Doesn't name a God in it that you're signed with, and it is every other organization except for our common law trust is organized under, it's from the Secretary of State, so it's it's a sub corporation of the In God We Trust, right? And just like every other nation is formed in the same way, a trust with the devil, and we'll go through a little bit of that too. By just showing the financial system, okay, it's a Ponzi scheme, pure and simple. It's a system of ownership and control that in a very short time, 100 years, or, a little more maybe, the central bank, i.e. the governing body, right, whoever runs the money runs everything, right? So the people that run the money will own everything on earth, period. So, and that's the scheme. And so if you own everything, well, then you control everything, so you tell everyone what to do, and that's their plan. Now let's go through that a little bit. All right, the In God We Trust, it's a trust. Here it is. In God We Trust, In God We Trust on the flag in Florida. You can't use that word, trust, or be a company like a trust company. You can't do business in Florida. You can look it up at every Secretary of State. The last word in a name of a business cannot be trust unless it's a trust. And you can have it, it's our motto, In God We Trust. Your motto has to match the name of your trust. If you're going to use the word trust at the end of it. There's no other motto ever anywhere that has trust in the end of it as the last word, because it would be a trust. Do you see? They're clever with their motto. It's just simply a trust. In God, the name, right, Satan, we trust. Okay? And how can you tell that's what it is? From the Ponzi scheme they're running, right? So how is money created, right? If money were used for what it's supposedly supposed to be used for, then this is what money would be for. It's a medium of exchange, right? Because someone has cantaloupes, a lot of them, and someone does web design, I don't need 100 cantaloupes to do your web design because that's hard to get me the cantaloupes from where you are, and I don't need 100. So we have a medium of exchange called money, so that there's sort of like everybody uses the same medium of exchange, and then we can exchange goods, services, what have you, in a way that's much more less unidimensional between just two people. It allows access to everyone, for everyone to exchange goods and services. So if money had a value, as a system, which is quite debatable, and I plan to usurp it with new information. If money had value as a system, it would be a system like this. Now we're going to think about this, right? Stocks, right? If you have stock in a company, like let's say you got stock in Amazon, okay? And Amazon's going to do a stock split, right? So what does that mean? Does that mean we're going to make more stocks, so your stock's going to be worth less because we're going to add more stocks out there that we're going to sell? No, that's not what it means, actually. It means that, let's say, we're going to put out twice as many stocks as we have now. Let's say Amazon has 100 stocks out and Amazon's getting bigger. We're going to put out 100 more stocks out there on the market. So, but what about your 100 stocks, right? What happened to its value? Well, you're going to effectively get, of the new stock value, you can have 2 of them for the 1 year. So, because that's how the value is affected. Do you see? So if they issue more stocks, the value of your stock is going to remain the same. Okay? It has to do that. It doesn't. They're not allowed to devalue your stock with the value of new stock. Okay? You don't make you don't then make your shares worth half as many shares. It doesn't work like that. But that's the way money works. Do you see? So money, let's look at this right here. Whenever, we're going to read the website right here right now. I looked up mortgage creates money, right? Well, let's read. Whenever a bank makes a loan, it simultaneously creates a matching deposit in the borrower's bank account, thereby creating new money. In short, money exists as bank deposits. So that's the deposits they have. Why don't they have cash in the bank? Because they're making up all the deposits. All money is created in only one way. What's the only way it's created? It just says right here. You have to go in and borrow money, right? They say. You sign an IOU, the bank as intermediary between the In God We Trust, right? Because you're getting promissory notes from the In God We Trust, and you're going to sign something, right? A promissory note. I promise to pay whatever. You're going to trade for promissory notes from the In God We Trust. You're trading debt instruments, which are promises to pay, IOUs, and that's the only system we have. So of course that's what you're doing. So so you trade them, right? And that's the only new money. Now the bank has more money on deposit that it's just created by giving a loan to you. But here's the thing. Did they loan you the interest to pay it back? No, they didn't. And see, no money is created other than giving out a loan. No money is ever created in any other way. Never. Ever. Okay? Unless someone's getting a loan. And so they're never putting the interest into circulation out there in the money. So it's a game of musical chairs where, you see, you can't pay back if you're just given interest, and so say you get it for a mortgage. Excuse me. Let's say you get money for a mortgage, right? Oh, I'm going to buy this house. Okay. So it's $100,000 a house. The house gets bought. But then how much money do you have to pay them back over the years? More than $100,000, right? Like if you looked it up on an amortization chart, depends what it is, but it's, could be 3, 4, 5 times as much. It could be, twice as much, 5 times as much. It costs way more money over the years to pay them back. So that money doesn't exist in circulation in the monetary system. It doesn't exist. You see, so everyone's fighting over money to pay back interest that doesn't exist. You see, it doesn't exist. Okay? So that's why the system, right, that's created is a game, it's a Ponzi scheme, right? It says, so for the banking system as a whole, every loan just becomes another deposit. Who says this? The Guardian, right? It's just explaining the truth that money is just an IOU and the banks are rolling it. Well, they're rolling in it because all they do is simply write IOUs all day and then they have money on deposit. That's the only deposits they have. You may give them a couple dollars on deposit to pay bills, but that's it. You know, just to do transactions. Nobody's keeping a whole bunch of dollars in the bank except them. And this is how they create it. When you sign something, you give them money on deposit. And then you're supposed to pay that back after they already deposited all your money that you just made for them. You just made all that money by signing that promissory note. Now, not only do they want you to pay it back, but they want to pay you to pay 3 or 4 times back more after it just got deposited at their bank right at that moment. So they want like 6, 7 times the amount of money. Okay? And they're not owed any of it. Because why? You sign something and it gets traded for the other promissory note. They don't even have the paperwork. They don't have the proof of it, right? Oh, I think I have this out of order. Let me see what I was trying to get a flow here. Oh, okay. Yeah, fiat money. So it's not backed by anything, and they create as much money as they want. We're gonna have to put this back here, right? Fiat money. It's not backed by anything, right? See, oh, okay. See, 3, 1. There's a 3. Do you see a 3? There's a 3. And what is it over? A 1 and a 1. So what's 3 times 11? 33. See, so Bitcoin is another satanic hoax, right? They're just pumping money in and out, and you never know who owns it. Of course, they created it, so they own everything. If you wanted to use currency money properly, this is how you would do it. On a certain date, right, you would say, we're issuing this amount of money, and we're never issuing any more. If we issue any more, well, then you know what? Trade in your old dollars. Say, you know, we need twice as many dollars in circulation. This is a new dollar, right? And we're only going to have a set amount. Well, let's say it's just not enough for people to exchange out there for some reason. You know, the physical, there isn't enough. You know? So, well, we need to issue more of it. Okay, so you could, let's say we need twice as many. So they put out twice as many new dollars, but you could trade in your old dollars for the new ones. You see, we just need more of them in circulation. But you could trade in your old dollar for 2 of the new dollars. So it's just exactly the same. You see, they have the same value. So it would effectively double, you know, what's out there, because there are twice as many new dollars. But your old dollar didn't lose value. Do you see? You could trade it in for 2 new dollars. Is that what happens, though? Like stocks? Is that how the Federal Reserve works? No. No, it doesn't. It's fiat money. They print as many dollars as they want at the printing press for the In God We Trust, right? Anytime they need money, what do? They simply offer more liquidity, they say. They say, we're making more money. What they do is they relax the rules for people to borrow, right? And so you go down there, right? And you're gonna want a loan. Hey, that was easy to get, right? I got a new house, but man, that thing was expensive, right? So you get the money, but now you got to pay it back, right? Whoa, the Fed just created new money, right? That's how they get it. They just give people new, you know, loans for new things when they qualify for it. Again, after they get their house repossessed and so on. So that's what's going on all the time. It's a Ponzi scheme. Why? What's their goal with this, you know, Ponzi scheme? This is very simple, okay? like the Bank of Japan, okay, they got ahead of us on the curve. Japan did, with their horribleness, with their meltdown of their currency and their economy and everything, you know, what the central bankers done. They've just gone ahead of everyone else, pretty much, on Earth, as a large economy. So we look to Bank of Japan and Japan as who's getting screwed the most on Earth, as you know, a nation with a lot of drive and, well, with a large industrialized economy. That's what I'm going for. So right now, due to Bank of Japan running the same exact scam over there, right, the Ponzi scheme, right, where it's just creating money, and then they're the ones that create the money and own everything. Bank of Japan, okay, that's like the Federal Reserve for Japan, BOJ. Bank of Japan is now a top 10 shareholder in 40% of all Japanese companies, owns 42% of all government bonds. I've seen people put out the numbers that the Bank of Japan owns 70% of everything in Japan. Really, that's what I've seen, and higher numbers. Basically, this is a system where the bank becomes the thing that owns everything, basically, through this Ponzi scheme, until it sort of melts down and we have to be saved by government, of course, which just screwed everyone and stole all real estate, stole all your time working on jobs to pay back interest, right? That you never actually, you know, see, every debt is collected illegally, you see. They're never owed any money. It's a Ponzi scheme. They make it up, okay? If you look into part of the United States Code, I mean, it's their own code, you know. They write their own laws and break them. The Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, you can look into it more. It's part of the U.S. Code. The Act creates guidelines under which debt collectors may conduct business, defines right of consumers with debt collectors. Anyway, it defines all that. If you're trying to collect a debt, you're a debt collector. If you want money, you're a debt collector. So you have to follow rules, right? You need the paperwork. You know, you need to validate the debts, right? You can look into it further. There are all different sections, but, you know, within 30 days of receipt of the notice, if you get a notice, a bill, i.e. a bill, and if you don't dispute it in 30 days, well, you owe the bill. So you want to dispute, like, bills that come in the mail from mortgages and stuff. Why? Because they don't have the paperwork. The bank was an intermediary. It traded your signed note, you know, for Federal Reserve notes. So where's your signed note? Isn't it at the bank? No. They had to give it to the Federal Reserve. It flew there on a plane within 3 days, period. They do not ever have it, period, never. And what's the, you know, there's civil liability for not validating a debt, right? $1,000. So, you know, my trick is, you know, my old trick, and I got a lot of new tricks, right? But this is just a basic, you know, what I show on my YouTube videos, like from the jump, right? When first Breaking Bank 1 and so on. You get them in the room, right? Let's see that you get them in the room on this $1,000 fine, right? In small claims, not for the $1,000 fine on your you know, hey, my mortgage is more than that. No. Why? They have to validate the debt. Do you have the paperwork? No. Okay, we got you on court record. You don't have the proof, so the mortgage is not owed, and so on down the road with the rest of my work, which is why it's so successful, right? Because every debt by every bank ever on every country is collected illegally. All of them. All you have to do is ask for proof. Do you have the proof? Do you have the proof I owe this debt? No, never. They never have it. Do you understand it? It's a Ponzi scheme that they don't even follow all the rules. It's a system of enslavement. The only thing really worth doing, I mean, yes, you need food. There are things we need to do to survive, you know, as humans, but really the only real true profession left is the destruction, right, of this slavery system, right? Excuse me. And it can be done legally through their own, using their own methods, and, you know, because they're breaking their own laws. You see? It can be destroyed easily. So back to the In God We Trust. You're like, wait a minute. Everyone's going, yeah. Every American is guaranteed to go to hell. Because, right, you sign with a trust, right? What are the three parts of a trust, right? What are the three document types, right? The Declaration of the Trust, right? Declaration of Independence, right? The corpus, right? The Constitution. This is how we're going to run the trust, right? And who are the ones who get the beneficial interest ultimately, right? Of a trust, right? Whoever has the beneficial birth certificates. Do you see? It's simply a trust where they're not honoring it, because why would they? Because they're with Satan. They're not being honest in what they do. They're not, obviously, right? Being honest in what they do. They lie about everything. It's their religion because they're satanic, right? That's who they are. We means 33. That's pretty easy to understand, right? It is, everyone knows about the deal with the devil. Well, that's the written deal, and that everyone operates under, and every American agrees to that. In God we trust, right? We, right? The light bearer, the shining one, the bearer of light, right? Lucifer, the devil, right? The light bearer, the Statue of Liberty, is the devil, right? Jesus Christ is God, of course, right? The Statue of Liberty, right? This is Lucifer. It is the devil, the bearer of light. So every American has surrendered their soul to the devil. Lucifer is the god of Freemasonry, right? Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light, right? The light bearer. That is Satan, Lucifer. You know, the god of many names and symbols, right? What do we have here? The symbol of Freemasonry, right? What is this up here? That's 3, right? Here, what is this here? That's a 3, 33. G is the 33rd letter of the alphabet, right? You go through all the lowercase and then the uppercase, and then there's 26 letters in the lower, and then 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, capital G. That's 33, that's Satan. See this here, if you were extended across, that's a 3. That's a triangle, 3. What's this? Another one, 3 over 3, 33, right? Look at this long one here, this long one here, this long one here. That's a 3. One long one here, one long one here, one long one here. 3, another 33. This is all they care about, okay? It's all they care about is their God. They are doing this. You think they don't know. They know. They know everything about this. This is their religion. This is the largest religion on earth, and it enslaves all humans. But in particular, in America, every single human is guaranteed to go to hell unless they sign a trust that I have. 33, G, right? Here we go. G is the 33 letter, as the 33rd letter. Let's just go down here a minute, right? G. These are all, that's Freemason, right? This is Freemason again, right? Freemasonry, the whole thing is just a Freemason nonsense, you know, the G. That's their whole thing, you know? It's all about the G and the, you know, all their symbols. They worship the devil. You know, here we go. A, B, C, 26 letters, and you go, you know, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, capital G. You see? That is Satan. That's the symbol they use for that, so that you don't know what they're talking about. It's not a very complicated, like, cipher or anything like that. It's not like they have created this, you know, crazy cipher that's hard to decipher. No, it's simple. It's very simple to understand. It's just as I explained, the symbol of it, right? 33. Every single country, right, is you know, Satan is a woman, obviously, right? They call it country because they're vulgar to mean a woman's vagina, right? And the O is, of course, means 9. 666, you know, 1 plus 8 equals 9. That's the real number of Satan, right? not 33 only. But it's a symbol. They have different numbers and symbols that all mean Satan to them. Do you see? All the triangles here, 33, 33. See, it's just an easy way to speak to each other where they don't have to know the actual language of another country, and they know they're on the same team, right there with Satan, right? Where is this going, right? They're going to own everything, and then what? They're going to own everything, and then what's going to happen? Well, what's happened on Facebook, right? Like, I was memorialized on Facebook myself. My profile was. What does that mean? On January 12th, 2016, I go to get on my Facebook account where, I use it for marketing, letting people know that I'm there to help them and so on, free them from Satan and help them remove their debts and so on, right? And I go on and it says my account is memorialized. I look that up and it means, and that can, you need a notarized, at that time, maybe they've loosened it, but when I looked it up, Facebook needed to receive a notarized death certificate in order to memorialize an account. In other words, someone had to die and they had to have the proof of the paperwork. Obviously, I wasn't dead. I was staring at the thing. It was a death threat from, the CIA who owns and operates Facebook to me, which I took seriously as a Facebook death threat, which, is what cowards do. So I didn't take it seriously at all. In fact, it freed me from and understood, like the power that the devil has is zero and nothing unless you give them something. And that's been proven by all the recent and not so recent testimonials of all my clients going through the same thing, so you don't have to just listen to my proof. So, but where is this going? Okay, look at this, what I've pulled up on Wikipedia. The social credit system. This is going on in Japan. You have to, if you don't know about this, by 2020, it is intended to standardize. This is a national reputation system, a numbering system for your reputation. Yeah, on social media. Yeah. It's intended to standardize the assessment of citizens' and businesses' economic and social reputation or credit. You might, if you don't, if you're not doing what they tell you, you can't travel, you can't do this. See, if they own everything and you've given them ownership of everything through what? Your cowardice. Only thing, because you're watching this, so, unless you're taking it back from them, well, they're taking it from you. You see, that's the only thing that can happen in business and assets. 3 things that can happen in business, right? With assets, right? You could have something, right? And you could keep having it. Nothing happens, right? No interaction happens between 2 parties, right? Nothing. That's one option that can happen, right? What's the other option? The other option is they could take something and you could get nothing, right? Or you could get less, right, than them. They would get a better deal than you, right? Or you would get a better deal than them in assets, right? Those are the only things that can happen. Nothing else can happen with assets, period. Either they're taking them or you are. Or it's like a draw. And, a draw should be the worst you do, right? Nothing wrong with a draw. It's better than losing. So, because right now, I've just proven to you, not only are you enslaved trying to pay back this fake credit, this fake interest and all that they've done through this, debt and money system, but you are guaranteed to go to hell afterwards. Why? For your cowardice and not stopping this. Right? And here comes the big crash, right? Here comes the big planned crash. They're just, because they're doing quantitative easing, right? What does that mean? It means who's making the money and putting it on their books as now we have plenty of money. Okay, they have plenty of money. They just created, the Fed did, and they're going to do it for asset acquisition. What does that mean? It means they're going out there and they're buying stocks and bonds and putting it on, like, they're now the owner of them. Who's been buying Facebook and these FANG stocks, and who's been boosting the stock market? The Fed. Who have they been boosting? They've been boosting like the CIA company, Facebook, Amazon, control everything that you eat and get at your doorstep and all your information, right? And Twitter, I mean, who uses freaking Twitter? That, you know, that's just a way to collect information. No one uses it. What else have we got? Netflix? You know, nobody even, who uses Netflix anymore? Not many people. I certainly don't. How does that have a value? It is one of the biggest stocks. So who's making it have all the value? The Fed's buying up these stocks like crazy. It's not you. It's not people. People don't have money. Oh, I'm boosting these stocks. No one has money like that to push it higher. The Fed just created $4.5 trillion. Do you think people have that kind of money? They don't. Okay, it's all a sham. They're just making the markets go up and down themselves and trying to get you to go along with it hook, line, and sinker right before the bust. Almost every trade, except for like you and me on the stock market, every other trade except for like you and I, regular people, they're all insider trading. It's all rigged. The whole thing is rigged. All of it. It's a game, and you're not in on it until you see it, okay? So we're about to crash. Look at this. I mean, for a minute, okay? This is 2 days ago when I'm making this video. Facebook's 100 billion plus route is the biggest loss in stock market history of any company. It's not just for Facebook. They're saying of any company that had ever existed on the stock exchange ever in the history of America, whoever lost the most value in one day is Facebook. Okay? This is the .com bubble again about to bust, and people didn't create it so much this time as they did last time because they don't have any money left. Okay? The Fed has to buy all these things up and create bubbles now, and then poof, pop them themselves, because they own. Do people own houses? No. You don't own your house if you owe a mortgage, and you don't own your house fully if you pay a property tax. No one owns homes. That's not possible in America. So what do you own? Some dollars in this ever-expanding dollar market where your dollar never gets made into $2 more. It's always turning into pennies. The dollar becomes a penny in, 10 years? I mean, it's a joke, and the government's going to own everything, and they're going to check your, check your social media. How are you doing out there? Maybe you shouldn't travel. Maybe you need these meds. Maybe you need this. I mean, they're creating, me on social media a couple years ago. Facebook murdered me in front of everyone. Literally, hey, he died. Okay? Did they get in trouble for that? No, not at all. But if you're going to say, something about Trump or who knows, right? Any words that they don't like on any subject, like me talking about the In God We Trust, just say, hey, look, there it is. You're going to burn in hell for eternity. That's what American means. American dream, right? There are 2 common laws on earth. 2 and no more. Whatever you read on common law is inaccurate, and everyone knows what I'm going to tell you. That's why it's the common law, because everyone knows it. The golden rule, do unto others as you would have done unto you, right? You sign the contract that I have, you agree to those terms, right? And you trust in God, you're signed. And see, you cannot, oh, I love God, I love Jesus. Hey, that's great, but you have a written contract your parents put you in, and you need to, the only way to override a written contract is with another written contract. You have a disagreement. See? No, I have this other written contract. I have this new trust in Jesus Christ. You see? So that overrides your fake, fraudulent contract that you pulled over on my parents, not even me. See, so I have a contract and you don't have my signature on anything. Until then, they say, oh, you've been operating as this person or whatever, so see, the contract's in place. But until you, displace that contract in the devil. It exists. I hear all the time, no, I gave my soul to Jesus Christ. No, you didn't. Not legally, none of that. You didn't do any of the work to do it. So no, you go to hell. What's the American dream? What's the other common law? The second common law, right? If you look it up, do as thou wilt is the whole of the law. I'm sorry, thelema, right? That's the satanic law, the satanic common law. Do anything you want, right? Not do unto others as you would have done unto you. Just do anything to anyone, and you go to hell, right? That's the American dream, right? You can do anything you want. That's the satanic common law. Do anything you want. Be anything. What do you mean? You could just be a axe murderer in America and that's cool? Yeah, do anything. It's cool. No, that's not cool. You go to hell. Like, use your brain. I have the only option for you to get out of a eternity in hell. And, I barely keep a payment gateway open. Lots of times I don't for months at a time. And, I have so few clients. The clients that I have make videos of their success. And I mean, almost every one of them makes a video, okay? Because it changes their life in such a dramatic, drastic way. I don't have a whole lot of clients. I just don't. But it's always successful for them. They're successful. Why does everyone want to burn in hell for eternity in America? It's just a question that I am unable to answer properly. But, okay, this is my sales pitch in case you don't want to. It's pretty affordable. No income taxes due ever again, by the way. And no inheritance taxes due ever again, too. And how much is this baby going to set you back? Like nothing, right? $497. Not to go to hell for eternity. I got things to do today. I'm just busy. Yeah. So check out the testimonials on YouTube and so on. But I just thought I'd go through that proof that, the monetary system is a satanic system. Every American is guaranteed to go to hell. You're in a Ponzi scheme. You can get out of debt. I guarantee that it will happen, right? And you can sign with Jesus Christ and go to heaven instead of you're guaranteed to go to hell if you don't, okay? So I'm here to help you, and God is here in infinite love for every single one. Doesn't matter what you've done before. Every sinner becomes a saint, right? We have to. And the biggest sinners become the biggest saints, as Mayor Baba said. Okay. I'm here when you're ready. God bless your success.